Burnout sucks. Like, seriously, you're miserable, exhausted, you don't want to do anything you normally do. A lot of the symptoms honestly overlap with depression. But the important distinction is that burnout comes from overworking yourself. I have absolutely been there before multiple times. Honestly, more times than I would care to admit. It's something I keep accidentally writing into my tabletop RPG characters. That's how bad it haunts me. But I've also gotten a lot better at learning to deal with burnout. I had to get better at it since I'm my own boss as a freelance artist and responsible for scheduling my workload. I hope that in sharing some of my wisdom, it can help you learn to prevent burnout in the first place, what I do when I realize I'm about to burn out or in the process of burning out, and recovering from it. And a big, huge heads up, I'm not a licensed anything. All I have here is my own experience. So if you're an expert and I'm doing something wrong, please absolutely correct me. I want to be better too. Also, thank you everyone for 800 subscribers. That's sick as hell. I can't even fathom 800 people in a room watching the video, so that's insane. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoy whatever else I end up making on this channel. But without further ado, let's dive into the video. All right. Preventing burnout. Taking preventative measures against burning out is one of the best defenses against it, in my opinion. For me, personally, to prevent burnout, I set really strict boundaries in ways that don't require a lot of effort for me to enforce. Some of those boundaries are: I have set work hours on my calendar and I make them clear to myself, others around me, and my clients. Seriously, if you commission me, I tell you my work hours in my terms of service so that you know when I will and won't answer you. I use calendar blocking to schedule my work to ensure I can't fit more in than is actually possible in a workday. I was very guilty of that, especially during college. It is definitely hard to start that if you don't have an idea how long some things take, but if they run overtime, then you should usually just plan to reschedule it and move on, or start timing your work so you know how long things start taking. And the last boundary that I have is I have 2 recurring breaks scheduled in my calendar. 1 day off a month, and 1 week off a quarter. And nothing gets planned for those days or weeks that I do not want to do. If you're not currently burnt out, I definitely suggest taking the time to implement some of these, and I'm going to link to some resources on each in the description so you can dive into them on your own, because honestly, all of them could be their own video. All right. Coping with burnout. Obviously, you can't always prevent burnout. Life happens, and also you might not know your own early signs of burnout. So, how do I cope with it? I personally start by figuring out what all I have on my plate. Once I know what all my obligations are, I start cutting, getting extensions, or asking for help where I can. From there, it's a matter of pacing myself and making sure I'm doing everything I can to take care of myself until things slow down again. I actually wrote a way more detailed Tumblr post about this, so I'm going to link to that in the description too. If you're currently burnt out or overwhelmed, consider going and following the steps I outlined there. It is something I came up with throughout college, because I got overwhelmed and burnt out a lot during school, and it honestly helped me get through things a lot. Anyway, even if it feels like more work to make a plan to cope with being burnt out, It is so important to take a step back and set yourself up to succeed. If you don't, odds are pretty good that you'll just end up making the situation worse, which is not good since stress can literally kill you. Let's talk recovering from burnout. How badly you've been burning yourself out and how long it's been is going to affect how long you're going to need to recover. I have a personal rule of thumb that burnout recovery time is double the amount of time you make yourself work while burnt out. It's not at all a scientific rule of thumb. It is more one that gets me to actually listen to my own needs. However you recover from burnout is going to be specific to you. You'll need to take time to just exist without putting pressure on yourself. If you can do things, great. If not, and all you can do is be patient with yourself. What I can say pretty safely is that focusing on basic good habits like a regular healthy sleep schedule, eating all right, and getting some light exercise will probably help with the burnout. Me, personally, I gotta just let myself mill about and do whatever, like I was a cat or something. I do my basic good habits, let myself watch stuff, and do hobbies I don't normally have time to indulge for hours on end. Go on walks, all that good stuff. It's boring, but it's what works for me. No matter what, though, you do have to take the recovery time. Just because you get your head above water after you were drowning does not mean you should hop back in the deep end. So treat yourself like you might care for a friend or a pet, and eventually you'll be ready to roll again. And that's all I've got about burnout. I hope that this video was helpful, and if you are burnt out, that you have some actionable ways to take care of yourself. Or ideally, you're not burnt out and you've already been taking care of yourself. That is my hopeful wish for all of you watching this. Anyway, there's like and subscribe buttons if you want to hit those. You could be more powerful than my partner, who realized he wasn't subscribed to my channel until last week's video, like almost a year into me making videos regularly. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!